Often we define parents, I think, often. We have an idea of what it is they're supposed to be and supposed to do. And I'm not sure that that's always ideal. My goal in being a mother, a parent, has always been to enable and create an opportunity for my children to be anything and not afraid. Not afraid to live, to challenge, to try, to honor, to respect themselves and others. It's not enough to me to just say these are the rules, but to also allow them to help make those rules. And in some cases, help them know it's okay to break those rules in a safe way. I think it's also my responsibility in being a parent to not be selfish in what I believe I can offer. So I've made it a point to encourage and nurture that positive self-belief in my children. I've tried to do so. But to also open their minds to the possibility that just maybe they have a friend who also needs that and they know lack it. And that I have the room. I have the capacity and the love, enough of it to share a little bit. So I believe if I bring one, I can take one. So as I'm out with my children and my kids and we see another soul that may very well be in need of love, of an opportunity, of encouragement, of sharing, I make it a point to try and do that, to be that point, that contact. I remember one instance where one of my daughter's friends, who is, I will say, incredibly talented, and I believe my children are talented, but not everybody understands that they have a talent or gets that same level of encouragement. And I saw it. I could see this young lady. She was just bursting with all this talent. And for whatever reason, when I looked in her eyes, I could tell she did not believe that. She didn't have that sense of, I can, I will, I have an opportunity, I can accomplish. So I just made an effort during that day, despite the fact that my own children were there, to really give a little extra attention to this young lady. And so it totally took me by surprise when she finished whatever song or speech or whatever she was doing, because that really wasn't the point, that wasn't important. To watch her just run off the stage and grab me by my neck, nearly choke me, and tell me thank you. It was rare for her. Unfortunately, it was rare apparently for her to have somebody who looked at her and saw the talent and the opportunity and what she could do and what she could be. And it was just a blessing to be able to be there and to do that. And I tried to do that for my children, obviously. Proud moments, certainly the fact that my daughter was encouraged by Dr. Stanley L. to take what she thought was a small and minor contribution to the literary world and make it a bigger contribution to the literary world, and then to see that the funding from that could actually do something greater for the community. That was pretty cool and awesome. But it doesn't stop there. It's little things, like having my 17-year-old son come home with the paper to give blood, super excited, and say, Mom, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make a difference. I can help somebody because I'm going to give blood. That's cool for me. It's not huge and big and enormous things. It's not money. It's knowing you can have an impact, which is a beautiful thing. I've shared some things in settings where I felt it could make a difference that surprised my children, things they didn't know. And the reason they didn't know is because while all of us have a story, and we all do, we've all been through something. We've been hurt and challenged and disappointed. Some people pour those stories out like water to people who aren't even thirsty. So it's not appreciated. So I tend to hold mine close And I share them in moments and in spaces and places with people who I truly believe will be impacted in a positive way by it. So my children did not know that I grew up in a home literally full of domestic violence. It's not something I talked about. And if you ask me why, I will tell you it's because I don't live there anymore. It's just that simple. I've moved on, so there's no need for me to continue to repeat what I've endured, and certainly I'm not going to allow that to repeat in my own life if I can help it at all. So I don't venture down that alley. It's a closed door to me. But I open it if I really believe it can help make a difference in somebody's life. So normal, everyday kid, and you learn eventually that some things that are disappointing, that are hurtful and painful, they will shape you. They will have an impact. And seeing domestic violence up close, it can be devastating. So for anyone who's ever experienced it, if you've seen it, if you're enduring it, there is hope. It is not over. There is an opportunity that can arise out of that if you remain positive, not let it consume you. I do want to say that. But yeah, it's something that helped to shape me and influenced a lot of decisions that I made. Decisions about the type of education I would choose. I intentionally opted for something that I felt would allow me to be a better parent. Because in some ways, and just being honest, I blamed my mother. I did. I felt there were choices made that she should have not made, or actions that she should have not taken. And it took a while for me to come to the understanding that it's not really about blame, but I'll be honest, I did for a very long time blame her. But you know what? Honestly, she lived a life based on what she endured and what she learned. It's cyclical, right? So we carry a little bit with us from things that we experience, and she did as well. So some of the things that she endured is because that's what little she knew and understood. It's like people who deal with mental illness. It's often their reaction to the mental illness in others with whom they have to interact with on a regular basis. It's not just my mental illness. It's ours. It's a shared thing. So all of that to say that, yeah, there's life and there are opportunities, and we can grow and we can be and we can do if we understand who we are and where we come from, and we know that it's not over. We can grow and we can go and do wonderful and great things. So yeah, I'm a mother and I have 2 wonderful children, and I have subordinate children who are associated with those children. And my opportunities within the community, I look for a chance to influence young people. I believe children are important. So I do not wish to be a political parasite. And by that, I mean someone who sucks up the emotion and the opinion of others. I do a very, very deliberate and intentional job every day to keep my opinions my own, to own them, right? I don't want to borrow your own emotions, your hurts. If I can help, I will do that, but I don't want to own somebody else's personal struggles and emotions. I refuse to identify myself as a Democrat or a Republican or even an independent. I'll be human. And outside of that, I'll stay Christian, and I'll be an American. But we need to be much better at being one, because we have far, far more in common than we actually realize. So I want to own that. Those are general thoughts. That's enough, right?